and we have a rocket launch in the Bitcoin world. This is coinpicker.us, and we're going to review Bitcoin right away because that is the screaming eagle of the crypto market for the most part. But I'm going to highlight some other ones. So if you stick with me, I've got some other cryptos that have absolutely crushed Bitcoin's performance and have more to go. And one of them I told you about, I might add, just a couple of videos ago. So you definitely want to check back with it. If we look at what's going on with Bitcoin, CCI would say it is overbought in a big way and getting ready to fall. My indicator, as I said a couple of videos ago, I said, look, Bitcoin is up there. It's getting toppy, but it still has room to run. And that proved out to be 100% correct. CCI would have said, sell out. My indicator still says it has some room to run. It is getting toppy. This is a higher risk entry point, but it has room to run. Now, when this does retrace or fall back, which it's eventually going to do somewhat, we can look up here. We got a pullback, which when my indicator called it, we got a pullback, not too bad, 44 down to 41, somewhere in that region. So we're up in the 50 territory. Equivalent pullback might be uh, low 40 range, 42, 43, 44, something like that. It could be worse. One of the things it will tell us is how sharp this green line declines. But in any case, for right now, it's good to go. Let's check out Ethereum very quickly. It's good to go for a little while. As I said, it is somewhat of a high risky point, but if you're a day trader, you still have room to run. If you're trading for weeks and months, then you might want to wait for the pullback. Let's check out Ethereum. Ethereum is in the same boat, only it has farther to go up. It's exactly what I said before, and I was correct then. Even though it had risen some, it's still got much more room to go. It's nowhere near as toppy on ETH. Now we're going to check out some ones I've been talking about that, let's see, Solana USD, that reverse course rather nicely. Okay, Solana is actually looking like it might pull back slightly here. It's overbought slightly on CCI, but on my indicator, it looks like it's steadying out. It definitely could go further, but I'm not expecting a massive move up here. It bounced down to 10%. It was up at 106, bounced down to 10%, back up 10%. And it looks like it's got some room to go, but it's not a barn burn. Now let's look at a barn burn, one that I told my viewers about, and it has definitely taken. Let's see. Here's Coinbase. So the day, it's too new for the day, but let's go on a 2-hour basis. 2-hour basis, it is definitely overbought and it is going to be dropping. But look at that price move. It was actually down around 140 or so, or even lower, really, 115, 120, probably in this range, and it bounced all the way up over $2. So those of you who paid attention and bought in when I was talking about buying in, you have crushed it. You have made what the average stock investor dreams of is 3 or 4 year returns. You made it in days. So super positive. Now, one that is not crushing yet, but I expect it to. It did very well initially, took off, but I think it has long-term potential, and that's ACS, and it's been dropping. That's fine. It took off like a rocket. I bought in, and I knew it would go up and down, but I think it's got long-term potential, and I think we could see a move up. That's what's indicated here, that it was oversold, as I mentioned, and that it would move up, and it has. Now, this indicates that it still has room to go, and it's at a lower point, so it could move up significantly. It could get back up over 32, 34, up into that range. And if you're a day trader or something like that, you can make a lot of money if you leverage it. I'm not recommending it, but I'm just saying it could be. Now, what I want to talk about most of all, though, I just had to cover that real quickly, is how do you know when you're in a top or a bottom for a crypto? And let's go to the mighty of all mighties, the Bitcoin. So let's expand out to week time frame, which I don't often use. So what do we see with my indicator here? As we get up, you start entering more risky territory. Now, if you had sold out as this got, see over here, you're still good. Even though you're in the overbought zone, the chart hasn't dipped negatively significantly. Here's where you start to get risky. Here's where you start to get risky. Now, you could have sold out here, or you could have held on and you could have ridden it all the way up here. What are we at? From 3,700 up to 50, bounced down, back up. But then it recaptured all that and eventually, went further down. So it depends on your time frame. If you're doing it on a weekly basis, this would have been probably in this region would have been a reasonable time to sell. You could have sold out up at this level. Again, you had another turning point indicated, but this would have been a reasonable time to sell because you could have bought back in lower here and just ridden it all the way up again. Because here's what happens. Here's where these low points are. So you can detect the high points easily enough. Here's where low points. And if you just sold out around here, which would be in this region, and bought in back here, you sold out in the 38, 40 range, and you bought back in the 14 range, 15 range. You made a killing. You did a million times better rather than somebody who just rode it all the way up. Of course, they could have sold out here if they really had their timing down. This indicator would have given you that point of view. So would have this one. So it's relatively easy, and I know people can't believe it, but it's relatively easy to pick the high and low points when to sell on an established crypto. In the newer cryptos, it's very hard, next to impossible to do it. It's all momentum, it's all social media influence, it's all the funding behind it. We're going to talk about that in the next video, but I just wanted you to have a clue. Use the oscillator. On my site, coinpicker.us, I offer access to this indicator. This is CCI. CCI will fake you out more than my indicator will. But CCI is still good. My indicator, I think, is more precise and generally gives more defined turn points, and that can make you a lot more money. So, or prevent you from losing it also. So, in any case, that's how you find high and low points. That's how you find when to short or when to go long. And now we have options in futures and leverage and derivatives. The world is your oyster in terms of shorting and going long for crypto. And now you have one of the basic tools. There are other ways, there are more things that I can add to it, but this is the basics to give you a really high probability, especially if you push your time frame out a little bit. So that's coinpicker.us for today, and we'll catch you later.